Hi friends, welcome to Knitting at the Boxerville Homestead. My name is Carol. Today is October 19th, 2023. I am coming to you from the Pacific Northwest, just north of Seattle, where the weather today is really actually quite beautiful now and the sun is coming back out again. I think it's probably upper 60s, I'm guessing. I haven't been out in about an hour or so. But it's a lovely day. The leaves are down or coming down. They're turning that beautiful autumn gold and orange color. Fall is my favorite season of all. And so this is, I'm looking out the window, just looking at the leaves at the time of year that just makes me most happy. I often think maybe it's because I met my husband in the fall, well, September 19th, 1986. Long time ago. And so I kind of wonder if that's not why it's my favorite season. I don't know. Anyway, you can find me on Instagram as BoxervilleHomestead, on Ravelry as Nittennurse, and email is boxervillehomestead@gmail.com, and I'll put all of that down below. Today I have 2 FOs, a few whips, some life updates that I'll put at the end, just what we've been up to. Everything's good. Our rescue of the week. And I think that just about covers it. FOs. So I think maybe I've put it, or I will put it in the intro. I'm not really sure, but I have been on a tear making pumpkins. Actually, not on a tear. I've made 3. These are pumpkins that I just got a hair to make. I've never crocheted any before. I didn't have a pattern. And as if you know, and I would like to welcome all of the returning viewers back. Thank you for coming back and tolerating me being all over the place. And if you're a new viewer, welcome. And I hope you decide to stay and join this little community we've started. I think it's like episode 19-ish. It could even be 20. I can't remember, but I will put it when I do the YouTube thing where you put on what it is and what you're doing. It'll be episode something. How about that? We'll call it episode something. So the little pumpkins, like I mentioned, I didn't have a pattern. I didn't really look one up. I chatted with my friend Joe about it from Crochet Knit Love Joe by Joe. Just briefly kind of back and forth about them, and decided what the heck, I'm just going to jump in. How if I can reach him. So this is the first one I made, and he's a little wonky. He's got little indents here and there where I grabbed different parts of it. I think that this is a half double crochet that I did it in, which would be a double crochet in UK terms. So half double, is that right? In US terms. Out of Lion Brand recycled polyester yarn, respun I think it's called. I used a 5mm hook, and which is an H in the US. For some reason we have letters. And what else can I tell you about these? I just did a single crochet until I thought how long I wanted it to be. And then I just started in back and forth, only knitting in the back loop so that I would get these ridges for a little pumpkin ridge. And like I said, this was the first one. So then I got some polyfill. Well, I cinched up the bottom, got some polyfill, stuffed it up how I wanted it. And then I wasn't sure what I was going to do for the leaves or the stem. And so I kind of liked the idea of it being natural or a real stem if possible. So I just went out and cut some twigs and happened to be walking by the garden at the time, and I keep a mailbox out in the garden that I keep tools in and such so it'll stay dry from the rain. And in it, I have jute. And so I grabbed up the jute and I thought, well, I'm going to try something that I remember doing as a kid, but I don't remember exactly how we did it. But I wanted them to have some like little stem curly things like you see on a squash plant or a pumpkin. And so I was thinking I was going to have to, I was telling John all about it when I came in. He's like, what are you going to do with that? And I told him, when I was a kid, it seems to me mom had us, and I don't remember what we did it for. It seems like it was for a dolly's dolly's hair. And we wrapped, I think we got yarn wet. Maybe it was in something, maybe cornstarch and water or something, wrapped it around metal knitting needles, the long straight ones, because that's what she used to knit with, wrapped them around it. And then I thought we baked them in the oven until they dried. And then when they came out, you had these long ringlets. So I was thinking, I wonder if I could do that with the jute. Well, you didn't need to do it with the jute. All I did was wrap it around a darning needle. And when I was done wrapping it around, it just stayed like this. And this was a couple of days ago. So we'll see if it stays that way. The leaves, I just went to Joann Fabrics. Here, it's a chain in the States if you're from across the pond or another country. And got some olive. I wanted an olive green, not necessarily the green that you would see in the garden, but something that would more go in my living room or dining room because that's where I planned on putting them. And I found this olive felt, and I just went rogue with the scissors and cut out what I thought would maybe look kind of like a pumpkin leaf. And that's what I did. I sewed them in. I just cinched the yarn opening of the pumpkin up around the stem really tight. This one I did wrap in some jute just so that each one would look just a tiny bit different. And then I sewed on the leaves, and that's basically it. And I made 3 of them, which they're all the same. They're just 3 different sizes and a different color. They're all out of the Lion brand recycled poly, and they're kind of cute. They're kind of fun. And it was something that, you know how you just need a quick kind of a palate cleanser. Not that I've finished anything big lately. Excuse me, my nose is tickling now. I have some spinning wool here, so that's probably what's tickling my nose. How you just sometimes need just something quick to do, and that was my quick to do. And plus then I can put it on I think I'm going to put it on my dining room table. We'll see. So that was the first. Now the second is I've been working on this little crochet blanket. I have not woven in the end. But this is how much I had left. And I think it's 1,200 yards. This is made out of mandala bonus skein in the color Yeti. It is a 300 gram or 1,181 yards. I didn't check it out for meterage. Yarn, acrylic, it's an acrylic. That I think I also bought at Joann's about the same time that I bought the yarn that I made that big blanket out of, that has ended up really being Sophie's blanket. She and I we'll share it camping, but she really does love it and lays on it a lot, and John wraps her up in it. I think he misses having babies. We'll get another dog. I'm too old, and we're too old. Sophie and Chance are laying right here. Anyway, I used an H hook. I had to go through 2 hooks. The first one, so we went to my brother's last week. We were down there a few days, and I thought I'm going to finish this while I'm down there. And anybody else have a black hole in their vehicle? I have done this before, but I didn't lose it last time. This time I have no idea where it is. I was sitting there crocheting, and I don't know if I checked the phone. John's driving. Check the phone. Check. Sophie and Chance were in the back seat. If I was doing, I have no clue. But it slid off. Well, when it has slid off before, I can't necessarily reach it because it goes down in the door thing. But when you open the door, I can usually find it because it's either laying there or it's fallen out on the ground. We stopped in Chehalis because we were headed down to Southern Oregon and to get coffee and to walk the pups around a little bit. And it wasn't there. And John and I both looked all around real quick and thought, well, when we get to my brother's, we can really look at, investigate further, find out where this is. And I had brought, of course, being, a good knitter, crocheter person, you bring more than one project, especially in the front seat, even though I had a couple of 3 things in my suitcase in the back. Got to be prepared. You never know what you're in the mood for. But we never did find it, and we still have not found it. So fortunately, down where he lives in Southern Oregon, there was a Joann's close, and so I was able to go get a new hook. It was a long story drawn out to tell you. This is just all it is, and is a granny square blanket, and it's just half the amount of yarn I used in Sophie's blanket. Now, it would be okay for a baby, but I don't know if I may add on to it. I don't know, but for right now, it's finished. It has given me the ability now to where that I can crochet this stitch and not look at it all the time. I can do it by feel. So it's a great one in the car or watching TV. It would probably be a really good one to take to the show house, although we don't go very often. I couldn't even actually, it's been quite a while since I've been, maybe 6-8 months since I've been to a movie. But it would be a good one for that as well. And so now I'm comfortable with this stitch. I was looking through crochet stitches. I can't even believe this is me talking. And I saw a blanket done in the linen stitch, and it was a scrappy one. And I thought, wow, that's really cute. So I may try and practice or teach myself to do the linen stitch next. It's really pretty. I guess I didn't realize how many different stitches there actually are and different things you can do. So it's kind of cool. Time for a sip. Today, this is what I have. This is one of my favorite teas, and I do tend to only drink it in the fall and winter, but it is so good, you guys. I'm not kidding. Just a little bit of cream in it or a little bit of some sort of sweetener. I like honey or agave. It's really good. Did I put the right side up? Yes. Or if you're French speaking. It's really yummy. So, again, I don't know, is this done or not? Regardless, it was good practice, and it was, I don't know, it was enjoyable, really enjoyable. I can see myself doing that more now. Oops, sorry about the notes. I have them down here I'm looking at. I'm really now, I have 3 sweaters on the needle, and 3 sweaters that need sleeves. Well, 2 in particular that need sleeves, but one that needs some more body in. Well, this one needs the ribbing that I'm going to show you. Anyway, I have a lot of sleeves in my life coming up. One that's been a little aggravating on the sleeves that I've had to rip out. I have wanted this arboreal done, and I think, I've just found shiny on other things like that crochet. I pulled my wheel out. I've been spinning some more. I cast on that Felix cardigan. I just need to get busy and do this now. But I did get a little angry at it. I still love it. I love the color so much. I love the the Arboreal by Jennifer Steingass. I'm knitting this in Juniper Moon Farm in the color Cinnamon, and the color work is Ivory. I believe I'm knitting the second size, and I'm aggravated because I started knitting. Okay, so I do 2 sleeves at a time, always. I have to, just like 2 socks. I just don't, if I don't, I'm messed for the rest of it. I will not pick it up. Well, I will, but it's going to take me even longer than it already does. And I'm not a fast knitter to begin with. So I started knitting on this sleeve, and this one, yes, it's this one. And I got a long ways on it, like mini light bulbs. And you know that I do light bulbs. And then I figured out that I picked it up with the wrong size needle. So I had to rip all that back, all that. It was probably 12 centimeters. Well, let me think. 12 centimeters, probably. Anyway, it was enough that it was really heartbreaking to pull it back. So I kind of put it in a little bit of a timeout. It made me a little on the angry side. Not angry, just as I should be thankful. Now I get to knit this all over again. I get to use this wool again, and it's lovely wool, and I love the color of it, and it's autumn, and what better color to be knitting on, you know, than this. I just need to change the attitude and just pick it back up and get to it. So it's still coming along. It's just, yeah, I put it in a timeout. I still love it though. I am, what did I write in here about it? Yeah, cinnamon. So color cinnamon. I'm all over the place today, you guys. I recognize it bad. I've been this way since I got up. I probably shouldn't have done it today, but I just wanted to spend 2 weeks, and I just wanted to talk to you guys. So anyway, it's color Cinnamon 113, Ivory number 116. I believe I said that Juniper Moon Farms Patagonia Organic Merino. It's going to be lovely when I'm done. I actually have been chatting with a viewer. Her name's Catherine. And Catherine I just had an email from her, and she finished hers. And I'm going to put a picture of it up here. And it's really beautiful. Now, this is going to be a picture with only 1 sleeve completed, because when she sent that to me, she was still knitting on it. But I received an email from her that she did get it done, and she's going to Rhinebeck, which I think is so cool. And I hope to hear from you, Catherine, about how Rhinebeck went, and send a picture of you in your Rhinebeck sweater. I'm jealous that you're done. Her choices of yarn are really beautiful. And I didn't even think about the fact she used a yarn, and she told me the name of it in the email, and I didn't think to write it down, but it's something that looks quite similar to a spin cycle, which I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, but I am not that far away from Bellingham, and I've never been to Spin Cycle. Is that the name of the shop? I think it is, isn't it? Now I can't even think. I was actually in Bellingham, the grand opening of that shop, and there were so many knitters in town. I was doing other things, and even going in, well, not even, but going into the Starbucks, there were 3 ladies in there that were knitting away, and I was like, right away. As a matter of fact, one of them was knitting a, names are, I recognized the sweater right away, and I said, oh my gosh, you're knitting a, don't even remember what it was now. And she was like, how do you know? And you know how we are. And we just started talking. And they were heading there because it was in the morning before they had opened, and they were all excited. They actually had another, their spouses had come up with them. I think they were from like Oregon, And I remember their spouses had come with them, and they, like I do with John too, I'll do the same thing with John. He's such a good sport about it. The husbands were waiting in line for them so that they could come sit and have coffee and knit, and then they were going to go and get mine. John's done that for me for years, like big fabric sales or something. And they get more out of it, or they get a lot of it, the boys do, because the majority of the other ones in line are women, and the women are like, oh my gosh, you're doing this for your wife, and just oh, you're such a good man, blah blah blah. So I mean, they get stroked. They don't mind. Anyway, Catherine, send me a picture of your finished sweater and of you being at Rhinebeck. I'm jealous. Someday I'll get there. Anybody else that's going or went by this time? Who knows when I'll get it up? Like, it's Thursday, the 19th of October. I kind of hope to get it up before now. Like, I don't know what, we'll see. Let me know if you went to Rhinebeck, and email me a picture of you in your Rhinebeck sweater. And if you don't mind, let me know in it, and I will put it up on the podcast. I think it would be great. So the only other whip really that sorry, the crinkling was probably right by the microphone. Actually, I have two. This next whip is actually spinning, and I have the other half of this, because there's just a little bit over here, is on my ladybug, on my wheel over there. This is, I don't know if you guys follow her, but if not, you should. This is her information. Sit and Spin on Instagram. Sit and Spins on Instagram. Ravelry is Sit and Spin, and then her email. And I tried for a long time to get these because they had sold out quickly, and then I finally did get them, and I forgot that I had them, and so I'm just now spinning them. But she calls them her Tiddly Bits, and her Instagram is beautiful, and she's amazing knitter and crocheter. You really, really should go follow her. It's just aesthetically beautiful. It's really beautiful. So, and then she sends you with these cute little cards to go with it, which usually I've lost these by now. A lot of people do. And then on the back, you can write down how many wraps per inch, your yardage, weight, fiber, the whole bit. So you get a big bag of these. These are what I have left. See, this one's coming undone. But they all come wrapped up like these little knots. And they're so soft. It's merino. Just super soft. I love these greens and blues and purple. I mean, look at there. I really love these colors. And this, what a beautiful color. Kind of a grapey one. But they're just little tiddly bits, like it says. And hopefully I'll have it done for next time. Soaked and thwacked and in a skein. My favorite color is orange. This is more peachy, orange, sherbety kind of color. I can't believe how accurate the colors are showing today. Anyway, I have been spinning on this. And I'm probably just going to do a 2-ply with it, mostly because I've done half on this bobbin, and then the other half is going to go on that bobbin. So I'll probably just do a 2-ply. And I don't know what I'll make with it. We'll have to see what I get out of it. I couldn't begin to tell you how I'm spinning it. I'm just spinning it because I am not that way. I'm self-taught. I started with spindles, drop spindles. I don't remember how many years, a long time ago, not a long time ago. we lived in this house, so less than almost 16 years we've been here now. So less than that. Oh, look at this. Oh, that one is not as dark as, yeah, it's more like that. It's like the color of my Chevelle. That's pretty. So I started spinning less than 16 years ago. I don't remember exactly how long, but I got my Wheel of the Year up the Oso slide, and I don't know how many of you have heard about that. It was a devastating thing that happened in our area. I believe I've talked about it once before. I lost a nurse friend of mine that I actually went to nursing school with, and then we worked in the same hospital in Everett. So I got it that year. I don't remember what year it was. I know what day it happened. Isn't that something? Anyways, I'm still working in Everett at the time. So to say, I am self-taught. I had been drop spindling for maybe a couple years when John gave me the wheel for our anniversary. And I do enjoy it a lot. It seems like I go in spurts with it and tend to do it more in the winter. I do once, and I didn't this year, but I have brought it out on the deck and or even outside and spun outside, which is kind of always refreshing and just gives you a different, I don't know, different perspective, different feel of it. But I enjoy it a lot. I love my ladybug. I don't know that I've spun on anything else to know if I would like it anything else, but I do love her, and she's, she works for me. I enjoy it. So hopefully next time I'll have that done. But I would give, if you're a spinner or if you want to be, these tiddly bits are super easy to spin. They draft really easy. The staple length in it is long, so that it would be great for a first time spinner. I know I've heard people say to, when you start out with spinning, oh, don't invest a lot of money. Invest in some decent, whatever you're going to spin, the wool, because that's going to make or break whether or not you continue or not. It's not something, it's not rocket science, but there is a science to it, and there is a talent to it. I don't have it yet, but there is a talent. You look at some of these prolific spinners like Laura from the Knit Girls. Wow, does that girl put some yardage out? I am nothing like that. Like I mentioned, I probably do more of it in the wintertime, but it's still in the fiber, and it's using different muscles. So if you are moving around trying to do different things, but still keep within your fiber arts, it's a great way to go. Plus you get this beautiful yarn out of it. I should bring some of it down sometime that I've spun. I will. I'll try to remember that maybe for next time. And we'll do that. So that, oh, my Felix cardigan, how far I've got on that. So no more issues with Felix, other than the first couple of little bits of cast on. This pattern is by, again, memory. I'll write it right down here. You guys know you're screaming it at the screen. Anyway, y'all know who it is. I've already knit one. I knit the pullover or the sweater. I am using Yarn Bee. The reason I'm using that is having after watched, and I mentioned this before, Amber from A Lovely Yarn. She used this yarn from Hobby Lobby, Yarn Bee, the Rustic Romantic collection. She used a gold color, which I actually initially went to get because I love that color. They didn't have enough of the same dye lots, so I ended up getting a color named Barnwood Fence. And boy, does it look like a barnwood fence. As I mentioned last time, it looks like barnwood fence with lichen all over it. It truly does. They couldn't have named it better. It is an 85 acrylic 15 hemp. It's a number 4 medium weight. And I see now they have it, I was just checking today, they have it on sale for $3.84 a skein. Anyway, no more yarn, Carol. You don't need it. So I am at the point where I need to be 10 inches from the underarm to, well, that's blowing out now, you guys. I'm sorry. The lighting has changed. Anyway, 10 inches from the armpit down and then start the ribbing. So I'm at the point of starting the ribbing. I am on the second ball, and normally I will finish the first ball and then I'll start the sleeves. But after dealing with little Miss Arboreal over here and the sleeve issue, I thought, I'm doing the body on this one. I'm going to shake it up a little bit. But still, with this one, I still have to pick up for the collar. And I've been given some information by a couple of people now that to make sure to not pick up as many stitches on the collar as what it says, as it can be really loose. So I appreciate that if you were one of them that said that. There were a couple in the comments, and I actually had somebody send an email and said, when you go to pick up the collar, don't pick up as many because it will just hang and be kind of saggy. So I was glad to hear that. I appreciate that a lot. But picking up stitches for button bands, to me, that's kind of like having to seam stuff. And you guys know how I don't like seaming things. I like the looks of a seamed sweater and the feel and the fit of it and the way it holds shape forever, but I don't like doing it. I'd rather knit a new one. Besides, you want a new one, right? Anyway, I do love the looks of this. I am tickled to finish it. I've really been probably knitting, well, I know I've been knitting on this one more than John's as well because I missed his birthday. And so what's the rush? Maybe Christmas. I would like to get it done though because it would be nice for him to be able to get several wears out of it over the winter. Anyways, this is just kind of, we're just hanging out here. I'm knitting it on a size 9. I know that it's recommended a size 10. I went up a needle size because, again, I swatched and I just liked the fabric, the way it looked better with this yarn on a size 9. Yeah, I don't know what else really to say about it other than I think this whole garment's going to cost me about $19 maybe. Well, that's not true because I did buy buttons and I left them in the family room. I can show them next time. I did find buttons for it and buttons for something that I don't even have yet, but they were really cute and on sale. I'll find something for them. So that's the Felix cardigan. And I know it's not going to be done the next time because I really think I need to pick that arboreal up and get it done so that I can wear it. I especially would like to be able to wear it, especially in October, November, more so than this green one would be probably more suited. Not that it necessarily has to be that way, but in my head it does. I apologize, my throat. I feel like it's dry. So, rescue of the week. Please, if you are a proud parent or whatever you call them, sibling, friend, whatever it is, of a rescue animal, please send me their stories. Send it to the email, BoxervilleHomestead@gmail.com, so that I can showcase them in a podcast. This week, I heard from Pamela regarding her dog, Toby, and I'm going to put some pictures of Toby up here. They call him Toby Ray. And this is Toby Ray's story. Pamela writes, I lived in a very rural area at the time, and one cold, icy day in December, I spotted a dog running down the highway. He was in rough shape, very skinny, ribs and backbone sticking out. I slowed down to take a better look, and when he looked at me with his big brown eyes, he seemed to be asking for help. So I pulled over, got out, and was met with the biggest hug. He literally jumped up and put his front legs around me and snuggled up so close. He was cold and shivering, and so sweet. I took him home and he couldn't wait to go inside. It was like he'd lived there forever. He went straight to the couch and he curled up. We went to the vet the next day and he didn't have a microchip. The vet said he probably was 1 to 1.5 years old and had had a real rough life. He had a few scars, one of which I found out was a bullet hole because the bullet was still in him. It has since been removed. First time I read that, it just brought tears to my eyes. How you can shoot him? He is the best dog with the best personality. I am so lucky that he found me. Never underestimate a rescue dog. They are the best dogs. Thank you for being an advocate. All dogs deserve loving homes. Thank you, Pamela, for not only stopping, but for writing in and letting us know about Toby Ray's story. That's awesome. This is why we have done what we have done in rescue for all of these years. It's stories like this. And sadly, though, for every story like that, there are so many that just go the opposite direction. So let's see. Let me give you just a few life updates and then we're going to get rolling because I'm looking at, what is this, 36 minutes, and I don't know how many people are going to watch this. They're going to all be at Rhinebeck this weekend, except for me. So we, like I mentioned, went to my brother's, lost my crochet hook. Had a great time. The weather was amazing. He downsized. Actually, tomorrow will be 2 years to the day that he lost his wife to COVID. He wanted to send me home with a bunch of her sewing treasures, and I'm going to have to show you. I am still amazed and honored to have her things, her sewing, actually her great-grandmother's Singer sewing machine, treadle machine that still works. Her sewing baskets, a lot of her fabric, things that he's like, Carol, I'm never going to use them. And he's like, I want you to have them if you want them. So we loaded all of that up. And it was good to see him. I hadn't seen him in over a year. We live about 7 to 9 hours away, again, depending upon traffic. So being able to get down and see him was great. The garden is still growing strong. Last night I picked more cucumbers. We still have lots of carrots, beets, kale, onions, red and green onions, jalapenos, tomatillas. I'm hoping tomorrow will be the last of the tomatillas. Mary, you know what's going on. You're doing the same thing. My friend from just over the border up here in Canada, Mary's been like me, apples, freezing, canning, making sauce. I'm thinking tomorrow probably will be the last that I pick from the garden to can, only because I choose to leave like my root vegetables in ground and then just eat them throughout the winter. The beets seem to get sweeter. So do the parsnips. There are a lot of things that I think just taste better after a frost. So that's kind of the garden update. I'm surprised Sophie and Chance didn't come over. Sophia, Soph, come here, baby. Come say hello. Come say hi to our friends before we say goodbye. But she's been sleeping. Isn't she precious? My little girl. Yeah, my baby. So guys, with that, I'm going to leave you with, if you are looking to add a four-legged family member to your home and life, please consider Adopt and Don't Shop. The life you save may very well be your best friend. Have a wonderful time while we are away, and I look forward to seeing you soon.